Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. I wanted to invite the attendees, if you do have questions throughout this, I have a moderator that's going to help me out and interrupt me when he can and ask the questions. So if you have questions you want, as I'm going through the course or through the session, if you have questions, go ahead and click on the Q&A and pose your question in there, and my moderator will let me know when they come in, and I will do my best to answer them. So we'd love to, although this is not as many people in this particular session, but we do want it to make it interactive even though it's a webinar. So please feel free to put questions in there so we can help you out. So what this session is about is organizing your course in modules. And when I'm talking modules, I'm speaking about Canvas courses. And I really want to approach first on why we even want to organize it in modules. So our brain kind of works in specific ways. We can only handle so much information. We have the extraneous processing that goes on, and that's the cognitive processing that does not support the objective of the lesson, right? So if I have a course that as a student takes a lot of time to figure out where things are, assignments that I need to do, things aren't very organized, that takes up a set amount or a part of my cognitive load, my brain load, as far as understanding what to do. Okay, so you've got the extraneous processing that you're asking your student to do, and then you have your essential processing, and that's just the basic cognitive processing required to mentally represent the presented material. Okay, and then you have your generative processing, and that is actually where you want the most of the brain processing of your student going on. This is where the student takes that deep cognitive processing and make sense of the material you're giving it to them, and really, I would say, maybe take ownership and have that level of understanding of that ownership. So it's a balancing act as far as, do you want your student to spend most of their time or their brain power processing how in the world you designed the course, and where in the world is that PowerPoint or that video, or that I know that they talked about this specific thing, where is that? And that would be in an extraneous processing. Do you want them to spend that brain power in that? Or would you rather spend that in the generative processing, where they're really thinking and grasping your content, your material that you're delivering, and really taking ownership in their brain to be able to understand what in the world the topic is, what in the world you're trying to teach them? And so, the decision is yours on how you want to design your course and where do you want that brain power of your student to go. I would think that the generative processing is really the direction you want to go. When things are very organized, very clear, then you can spend more time processing that information, the actual information, and not figuring out the course. Okay, so there's a couple of things with that. The goals of a good course design is to reduce this extraneous processing, to manage the essential processing, and then to foster the generative processing. So I'm going to bring up some sample courses to kind of give you an idea. So I've had a lot of faculty, I've worked with a lot of faculty that like to put their content all into files, right? So, they have maybe 10, 15 PowerPoint files, and they'll just go into Canvas and dump all the PowerPoints in there, and maybe put videos, or maybe put PDFs in there, and so forth. Well, the problem with that is it's too difficult to figure out what in the world the student needs to use at that time, and where it is. You know I look at my my organization, although I try to keep my folders very organized, I have a hard time finding my own files. And what we're asking when we have students go and look at files and dumping everything into files where, yes, this is, for example, a great tool with all this information, but how much time, how much load are they going to spend in trying to figure out when are they supposed to see this? Which one is which? Wait, is this the decision tree, or is this other one a decision tree, and so forth. And so really organizing this for them, it's not really, I've had people ask, tell me, well, I just don't want to make it too easy where I'm handing them everything. But actually you do, because you want to have it organized so they can spend that time in figuring out your material, not figuring out your course. So let's take a look, and I'm just going to bring up a template that I use, and I know that there's quite a few templates out here. Depending if you're teaching online or person to person, the requirements from the university are a little bit different, but I do have a template in here in this training sandbox. And I created this just so faculty can go in and fill in the information, but I want to explain why I created it the way I did and why you should not necessarily use this template, but use something that helps the student flow. So when a student signs into this particular template or this particular course, they read a little bit about the course, and then they know exactly what to do next. So here it says what's next, and it has an arrow and it goes to modules. So as I'm reading through it, there is no doubt of where the student needs to go. So when they click on modules, then that's designed to flow as if they know where to go first, and then they know where to go second and third and fourth and so on. Now, one of the things that I would recommend as you're setting up your module is not making your module too long. And I'll explain that when you make, let's say that this module 1 was double the size. All of a sudden it gives a very overwhelming feeling to the student because everything is just laid out there. But instead, if you take peak pieces of information and put them within the pages, it results in a better user experience. So let me show you here. This is module 1, and when the student flows to module 1, they go into here. Now this particular template it's pretty complex. It has a lot of details. It has the learning outcomes, points of interest, due dates. You don't necessarily need to have all of this, but when a student goes to module 1, it's valuable to know, okay, these are the due dates for the week. These are the things that I need to know. These are the goals and the learning objectives for the week.
Christina, we had a question. How can we access the templates?
If you just let us know, give me your names, and we will get in touch with someone that can give you the template. Because it depends, like mine that I'm showing is the School of Business, but there's others out there. So just if you can let us know in the chat, that would be great. And by the way, in the template, all you would do is click edit and then go in there and make your changes. Okay, so from here, module 1, it gives you the overview. Then when you click on next, it takes you to the next point. Okay, so the next point here is your video resources. It could actually just say resources. So here you would list, okay, these are the readings you need to do. These are the lectures you need to watch, if that's the case. If they need to join your class synchronously, this is where you go, or whatever information. This would be a resource page for this particular module. Now, what you can do, for example, as you notice here, I have, okay, well, here's access to the PowerPoint. And the PowerPoint is situated in files, but I don't ask my students to go to files and take a look at all of my media in here. I'm asking them just go to modules, start with module 1, and all you have to do is hit next, and it takes you through the flow of your course, okay? From here, then you can go to next, and it takes them to the next thing. What do they need to do next? If it's an assignment, you would put an assignment in. This particular course has a discussion posting. So they would do that. I, as the instructor, designed that, okay, they're going to do the reading, do the videos, and then do the discussion. And then afterwards, do whatever the task is. And by hitting next, you'll see that the next task is, you know, an assignment that they have to turn in with the rubric attached to this one. And then again, you hit next and it flows to the next one. And this is a quiz. So let's kind of go through how you set this up. So this just gives you an idea of what it does for the student. Again, this is just module 1. When I'm done with module 1, it brings me automatically to module 2. So it defines kind of the definition of the flow. So in here, if I'm going to add a module, now if you have a template, all you have to do is edit. So if you click on this and you click on edit, I can go in here and I can change the name of it. So if I want to call this module 1A, I can just change it to module 1A and it changes the wording. This particular line item, it's kind of grayed out. It's just a title. So if they click on that, it's not going to go anywhere. Whenever it has the little green icons here on the side, that says that it's something that it's going to take them to a page. But these are just headers. Module 1A, activities, synchronous session, and wrap up. Those are just dividers. So at this point, if I wanted to add a page, let's say I want to, I added a PowerPoint, so I click on plus and I uploaded in files a PowerPoint, so I can click on file and I can find the PowerPoint in here, which I don't even know if I have one. Well, it doesn't look like I have one, so no, I'll just pick something. Let's see, these are all, okay, that's just an arrow. All right, so what you'll see is I clicked on plus and I selected the file, and then now it places it at the bottom. What I can do is I can click on these 8 little dots right here and move them into the order that I want it. So if I put it here, you know, it'll show up next. I can also click on these 3 little dots and increase the indentation if I want it to go, you know, to be lined up with the other things. So now this was just a JPEG, so it's just an image, but that's how I would add a file. And so from here, probably what would have been better is if I would have gone to files, decided where I wanted to put the PowerPoint, I click on upload and I can select where the PowerPoint is. And at that point, I can pick it as a module option, okay? So that's just adding, you know, a JPEG or a PowerPoint or a PDF, things like that. But if you notice, this was a resource, this was actual page from Canvas. And so in order to add a page, you would have to have a page created under pages. If you click on pages and go to view all pages, here in this particular template, you'll see all the different pages. If you don't have a template, it's okay. You can click on plus a page and then create your page from here. And I'll just show you how that works really quick. So I'm going to click on save and publish. And then I'm going to go to modules. And at this point, let's say I want to add that page right after overview. I can click on plus. I have the option here. I'm going to add a page. I can't remember what I named it. Oh, testing page. There we go. Add the item. And then it shows up down at the bottom. And then from here, I click these 8 little dots and I can move it to where I want to. And then indent it if I want to. Increase. There we go. All right, so I've added 2 items. Now, if you have activities for them to do, activities being discussions or assignments, you would do the same in adding those. Now, obviously, you need to have those defined under assignments. You would have to have those created in here. But in modules, you would just go to modules. I want to add it in this module 1A. And here I select, okay, this is going to be an assignment, and I want them, it'll list all the different assignments I've created. I want them to do assignment, this assignment right here. And then it puts it down at the bottom. And I can put it in the set order. Now, if you noticed, and this is just kind of a trick that I've learned because I've done this for many years, I have everything organized. So when I created the overview page, I named it for module 1, I named it 1.0. And then I know that in module 1, they're going to have an assignment. So I'm going to name that assignment 1 point whatever it may be as far as the order that I want it to appear. And then if I want a quiz, I'll name it 1 point whatever. If it's going to happen in module 1, if something is going to happen in module 2, then I name it 2 point whatever the order is. And the reason I do this is when I add the modules, it'll start, if you look at all my pages, for example, if I didn't have the numbering, I would be looking at titles, and then it gets very confusing. Wait, this is overview of this topic. Is that chapter 1, module 1, or is that module 5? And it just becomes very confusing. So by numbering them like this, it makes putting together the modules a lot easier. So I can select, whatever it is, whatever page it is, and I can click add the item. And I do this the same when I do assignments, for example. So I have all these assignments numbered, and I know like this assignment's going to happen in module 1, this assignment's going to happen in module 2, 3, and then 5. And the quizzes and so forth. So that just helps in organizing exactly when things are going to happen, especially when I put modules together. So the other thing that's important to note, this synchronous session, I liked putting it there. Not everybody does, but I tell everybody, okay, on this day, make sure you go, join Zoom on this date and time. And I created only 1 page here, but I can have things reappear in modules. So if you look, I can click on plus, and I can say, okay, well, I want this particular page to show up, and it's the synchronous session page. And I click on add. And now I can add it as many times as I want and have it flow as a reminder. So for example, the synchronous session is going to be their Zoom link or a reminder, hey, remember for class, you need to make sure you've covered all of the material or covered all the resources. Well, because that information doesn't change, I make that reappear in each of my modules in order to provide a reminder for them. I don't have to recreate that page. I only create it once, and then I just add it here in modules. I click on plus and then select what kind. So if you notice also, when I click on this plus modules, there are a lot of different options. Again, I can do assignments, quizzes. I can directly link a file. So if I have a file in my uploads, I can have it where they click on that and it opens it automatically. Again, the page as we looked at before, and then you can also have an external tool or an external URL. So if you want them to go automatically, let's say that you have a login to the textbook or some sort of resource that you're using for your class, you can select this and put in directly the URL. And so then when they're flowing through, they can go, and when they hit next, it takes them directly to that resource. So they're not having to kind of figure out where in the world are they supposed to go. It's all laid out for them. It's very organized, and there isn't any second guessing. So they can spend really the majority of their time really understanding your content rather than understanding how to navigate your course. Oh, I felt like I went really fast. So let's just kind of open it up to discussions if you have any questions. Do we have any questions?
Nope. Just that one about the templates.
Okay. Yes, and definitely, if you don't mind putting your name in the chat, and that we'll get someone to get in touch with you as far as getting a template. Well, hopefully this helps in understanding how to create this kind of the module feel for your course. I would re-emphasize again, don't put all of your resources all in one list, because that becomes very, very overwhelming for your students, but do have a page that has the resources, that has additional links, and they can go back to those links, like this PowerPoint and so forth.
I have arrived late. Yeah, I'll answer that one. Yes, it will. No questions. Thanks. I've attended a few of these and have organized my course in modules. I just hopped on today to see if I missed anything. These training sessions have been very helpful.
Great. That is great.
And we got a few names for help with the template.
Okay, that's great. Awesome. All right, well, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. That kind of covers it. I know it was really fast, but hopefully it was helpful for everybody as far as understanding really why you want to do the modules versus just dumping everything in files. And hopefully that was explanatory. It helped out as far as understanding. I do want to say that I probably forgot to mention, there's these green check marks. As you may know, if these things are not check marked and they look like this, for example, that says that the sheet is not published, and so your students will not be able to see it. So at this point, I guess that's a good thing if you're putting together, organizing your modules, and you're not quite ready to publish specific areas of your modules. You can turn those sections off and they won't be able to see it. And then when you turn them back on, it becomes live to the students. So just know that that's an option as well.
And these these sessions are going to be on the Innovations in EdTech website, I assume.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. We are recording all of the sessions, and just like where you registered for the session, instead of the register button, you'll have a view the recorded webinar button, and so you'll be able to go in there and review them again. Absolutely.
Yeah, so no new questions since then. This has been very helpful. I like the part about putting the numbers in, so that way it's a lot easier to find from that list.
Yes, it really is. It really helps. Sometimes it just gets so confusing, especially if you're doing 18 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Where a whole semester becomes very confusing on your topics. So by categorizing them by number, it does help a lot. It does. All right, well, I know that this was probably kind of shorter than expected, but I feel like I've covered everything unless we have any further questions. Do we have any further questions?
Nope, nothing yet.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, thank you for joining us, and hopefully this session was helpful, and please plan on joining the other sessions throughout the week. Hopefully they will help you out for your semester. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.